Hello friends. We are now in the post-colonial discourse, isn't it? Yes. We have seen models, special characteristics of post-colonial writings, post-colonial societies, and post-colonial models. We have seen how to approach the different approaches. First one we saw is the national and regional model. Second one is comparative models. Third is negritude or black writing model. And fourth is language and place model proposed by D.S. Maxwell. And the fifth one today we have colonizer and colonizing. Colonizer and colonized model. That is the fifth model. Colonized, colonizer, colonized, colonized model. Now, as you can see, colonizer means the imperial powers, Britain, isn't it? Then other European France, so Spain, so these are imperial powers, Europe, colonizer, colonized people like us, Indians, Africans, then you have got the black people, that is as a whole you can say, and Asians, isn't it? These are the colonizers, or you can say the imperial power and the subaltern, connection with that you can say. Or you can say the imperial power and the other capital letter, what is here, you can call it like that. Now here what happens, this model has been proposed by political theorists like Albert, you must have come across Franz Fanon. Franz Fanon, yes. Albert Memmi, political theorist. Political theorists like Franz Fanon. And the spontaneity, the author of spontaneity, yes, which we are going to study after some time. Franz Fanon and Albert Memmi. Albert Memmi. So these people are political theorists. So they said that, any post-colonial writing, that is, it can be settler colonies or it can be invader colonies. A fact that you should take into consideration is any approach, any study that you make, is that the involvement or the imperial colonial dialectic, the reality of the imperial colonial dialectic, or as we have seen some other place, metropolitan colonial axis, that is metropolitan or imperial colonial dialectic. In this situation, what happens is that the imaginative power of the colonizer, the politics of colonizer, the economic growth of the colonizer, all these have been different areas of life. That is literary, politics and economics. But these have been influenced by, or a negative influence of imperial thinking and the imperial way of approach to colonies you will find in the writings. That's a negative influence. So in that involvement, political, there is social control, for example, political control, or even in the imaginative power of the writers, there is some control. Understand that? So that point you have to take into consideration. This is the point. The imperial colonial dialectic and its negative impact on all the aspects of colonial writers. Therefore, what will happen? Colonial writings will be affected by that. Now, this kind of thinking, this have, so to say, triggered a debate. What is the debate? The debate is, should the colonized people, after they become independent, go back to their roots, that is pre-colonial cultural recuperation. That is what they said. The pre-colonial. So this has given rise to a debate, or triggered a debate, you can say. This kind of thinking. That is, imperial colonial dialectic has had a negative influence on the writings of the writings, that is post-colonial writings, and post-colonial society also. So this has given rise to a debate, that is, should we go back to, we here means the colonized, not they, not colonizer. So the colonized people will say they, and the colonizer will say the other. So the other, for the colonized people, should they go back to the roots, or pre-colonial cultural recuperation. This is how they describe this movement. Should we go by, or should we have a pre-colonial cultural recuperation? Means what? Start writing in your native language, indigenous languages. Or the other aspect of debate, the opposite side you have got. Some people, some colonizers themselves, they say this is not possible. Going back to, because already we are enmeshed in a multicultural society. The multicultural society where you find syncretism and hybridity, that is a historical reality. You cannot escape from that. Not only that, it's a strength for the colonizers. See, this is how the argument goes. A school of thought thinks that or proposes the idea that you should go back to the roots. The other school thinks that it is not possible because already multiculturalism has become a fact. Something like that, you make a vegetable stew with potato, with tomato, with beetroot, with carrot and so on, and cabbage, cauliflower. The stew is already made. Then after some time we say you have to get back all the vegetables in their original shape. Is that possible? It's not possible. Something like this. Those people are arguing for this. Exactly, although the example may not fit suitably, it may not be in the sense that the people may not agree with that, but actually this is the fact. Years of subordination, years of slavery, years of political and economic repression and suppression. See, suppressive attitudes of these people, and years of injecting the culture of the colonizer, and also imposing the language of the colonizer. After that, if you say that you have to go back, shed all these things, and then you should have a nice bath and become an original, I think it is not. But there's some people who say it is not possible. Because, and another thing is that some writers find it very positive. This multiculturalism and synchronicity and hybridity, they are very positive. It's a strength these days in this multicultural world. So this is how different reactions or different ways they are responding to the same situation. Now you find, for example, you have got, for example, India, and take the case of India and Nigeria. India and Nigeria. Well, two examples I am taking. Here what happens, this is bilingual situation. Bilingual situation means you have got the indigenous languages, writers are writing in indigenous languages, as well as they are writing in English. So in this case, for example, if you are so much so much interested in, or you can say worried about your asserting your self-identity, going back to your roots and asserting your or asserting your identity and your culture. In that case, you have an option. You can write it in your indigenous language, native languages. You can say goodbye to English. That's okay. But scholars say, those who are studying this post-cultural situation, post-colonial situation, post-colonial situation, they say that if you take a novel in Bengali, or if you take a novel in Gikuyu, that is one of the African Nigerian dialects, Gikuyu. Suppose you take that, you will find that these are products of hybridity. You will find that it's not, you can't have a pure Bengali novel or a pure Gikuyu novel. It's not possible that people who are made research in this, whether it is from the point of view of the colonizer, I do not know. But this is what we get, the report that we get. Understand that? Even you find it's very difficult, they say. You write in your regional language, but still you will find the influences of the foreign language or the language of the colonizer. Influence you will find in this text. That's what he says. And when you come to settler colonies like America, there's no question of bilingualism, only monolingual. They have the problem is that an important language, whether it will be able to express new experiences and landscapes, features of the landscape and so on. That after some time it's a very minor irritant. It is initially written. After some time it will be settled and they will continue with the important language. There is, for example, in Australia, there is a movement. What is called, the movement is called Jindi Orobak. Jindi Orobak. Jindi Orobak. That is, this movement in Australia is called, this is initiated by Aboriginal writers. Whether they will be able to produce literature in Aboriginal languages only. But the problem there is by rejecting English. That is asserting their identity, asserting their nationhood or nationality, you can say. But you see, the problem is that there's a question of authenticity and tradition. But if you write in such a language, who is going to read it? It has to be marketed. Somebody that should be there to receive it. That's a possibility of public reception will be very, you can say, almost zero. So that the question of Jindi Orobak, that is a movement to write only in Aboriginal languages, did not find much support. So this is all these movements, you can see, it's all meant for what? Self-assertion, to establish their identity after the countries which were once colonized by the colonizers. And you can see that, in Nigeria, for example, there was a debate, an open debate between Soyinka and the Troika. The Nigerian situation is very interesting, Nigeria. And there is an open debate on this question. And that is famous known as Soyinka versus the Troika. Troika means three others. Troika. Soyinka versus Chinwesu is one, Jemmi is another, and Madhubai is another. Chinwesu is Troika, three others. Chinwesu and Jemmi and Madhubai. Madhubai. These are the three others. So these three, the Troika, they clamored for self-assertion. They clamored for going back to the roots. They clamored for pre-colonial cultural recuperation. But Soyinka is balanced. He said, when I say balance, please do not think that I am supporting the colonizers. No. The fact and reality you have to find out. Now suppose you want to say, you like in India, suppose we take a political decision that we will not use English. You can take a political decision like that, but whether it will be possible or not, that's a different thing. The same way, Soyinka always stood as a moderate. He said, see, how is it possible for so many years we have been using this language and their culture has infiltrated, whether we liked it or not, whether we liked it or not, or the contemporary reality also you to see, the multicultural. Everywhere is multiculturalism. You don't find pure, in England you don't find, that's why now, that is the culture, when you are studying cultural theories, we found now that in culture is ordinary, and then Stuart Hall and so on. When we studied Raymond Williams' culture is ordinary, and Stuart Hall's two paradigms, etc. When you were reading, I suppose you have already done that in your second year, in the second year, yes. So third year, yes. So third semester you must have done it. You see that you don't find anything like a pure race there. So you can't. England is not inhabited just by English people alone. No, that situation has gone. Multiculturalism has become a fact. Therefore, Soyinka said that just try and at least understand the reality. Understand? Then you can see the Afro-Caribbean situation you find. Afro-Caribbean. There also you find Derek Walcott, very famous writer there, Wilson Harris, Edward Brathwaite. Yes. And then in the Afro-Caribbean situation, again the debate. In that debate, you find people taking part like Wilson Harris, and Derek Walcott. So Wilson Harris, Derek and Edward Brathwaite. Edward Brathwaite. So these people, again you will find in this group there is one person, Wilson Harris. In the other group there is Soyinka. So Wilson Harris took a moderate view. But the others, Brathwaite and Derek Walcott, insisted that we must go back to the roots. But as we have seen in the two debates, the Harris and Soyinka, they have stated their position like this, that the Afro-Caribbean destiny, the Afro-Caribbean future, the Afro-Caribbean progress depends upon this influence of the multicultural society, multicultural reality. That's what. So in this debate of going back to the roots, you find two persons. You can say call them moderates if you want to, or you can say what other word will you use? I don't know. Do you want to use a word like, which I don't want to use here, in private I will tell you, and that is, say traitor, you want to say like that, in order to Mama? No. I don't think so, that is the word that you want to use to describe Harris and the Soyinka. They are moderate people, they are people who knew the reality, they accepted the reality of the situation, and they said that it's not practically possible. You can take a political decision or a fanatic decision like that, one-sided, but it is not, you cannot implement it. Because long years of influence of the colonizer, every aspect of your life. In some colonies, as we have seen, West Indies, they even had a violence, they used violence. So in such a situation, it is very difficult to go back to, because they have lost everything. So they have to now start living. If you want to start, say, right from A, after coming to Z, you want to start back again, go back and start at the point of A. You can do that, but it will be very difficult, and it will be detrimental to the progress of the Afro-Caribbean people. That is what Harris and Soyinka said in this debate. So colonizer colonized model is mainly about a debate, you can say. So it is centered around a debate. The debate is whether we should go back to the roots, pre-colonial cultural recuperation, or whether we should accept the present reality, a multicultural reality where we find syncretism and hybridity and work together for progress, a new world, see that, a new earth and a new sky. That is, whether we should work for that or say start quarreling like this and the kind of internal division and so on, debates and internal division, that is the question to be answered in this colonized model. I hope you understand. Another reason that's also important that way, say that if you want to studying post-colonial text, you need theories, critical theories. And the critical theories presently used are all European theories, like structuralism, Thoreau's structuralism, Edward Said's post-structuralist approach. So structure and Louis Althusser's Marxist approach, and Toni Morrison's feminism. See, these are all critical theories. See, that is structuralist, post-structuralist approach is Said. Yes. Said, and here it is Thoreau. And then this is first, second, third is Marxism, Marxist analysis, Louis Althusser, and fourth, feminism, Toni Morrison, Spivak, Toni Morrison, Jean Rice, etc. Jean Rice, Toni Morrison, and then you have got people like Doris Lessing, etc. See, feminism. These are the theories. These theories originated in Europe. So, to analyze post-colonial texts anywhere, at present we are making use of these European theories. So they are current in Europe. So, for example, structuralist analysis of post-colonial texts that is triggered by Thoreau, and then or people who are working in that group. Then post-structuralism, we have Edward Said, and Marxism, Louis Althusser. Marxism, ideological analysis of text. Ideological analysis, post-structuralism, postmodernism, same. Then feminism is this Jean Rice, Toni Morrison, etc. They say they are using this colonized model in this, that is the imperial connection and the imperial domination. They say that it is like a man-woman relation. That's how they apply feminist theories to post-colonial texts. The imperial colonizer, colonized relationship is like man-woman relationship. Understand? That's how they approach these texts. And Spivak, she is articulated very forcefully a relationship between post-structuralism and the discourse of post-coloniality. She said that there is an inevitable, or you can say a spontaneous relationship, you can say, between post-structuralism and post-colonialism. So this is how these theorists and critical, those people who put forward ideas about literary criticism or critical theories who propose such critical theories say that these are the theories that we are making use of to analyze post-colonial text, and how can you make, or how can you think of a total and complete separation from the influence of the colonizer even after your independence? Because you are borrowing, you are making use of, you are getting help, literally, so to say. Economics also, economic and in some areas political. Because then immediately after independence, you find the post-colonial corruption. Then what happens? Divisions. Then the colonizer comes in again to your aid, so you can say. So in any way, practically it is, I said, it may not be possible to go back to your roots and then effect a pre-cultural, a pre-colonial cultural recuperation. An absolute recuperation is practically not possible. But anyhow, one thing is sure, we at the same day remember that these theories also say they caution us, caution the colonized people that they should not forget their ancestral affiliations. So keeping in mind their ancestral affiliations and also asserting their national identity, only after this you should think about this multiculturalism, syncretism and hybridity and so on, found in almost all, why should I say almost, in all post-colonial societies and all societies around the world. Wherever there are humans, wherever there is human civilization at present, in this 21st century, we will find that there is also multiculturalism, syncretism and hybridity. And therefore, as Wilson Harris and Soinga, they, according to us, as they suggest, it is for practical purposes. It is better, but at the same time they say no, you should always be thinking about your ancestral affiliations. You should always be thinking and stressing, emphasizing your roots and your culture. See that? Don't leave it like that. Always let that be the base. These things should be the base. And then superstructure. As a superstructure, you can think of the influence of the colonizer. So that is the conclusion as far as colonizer model is concerned. I hope you have followed. In a nutshell, we can say that this movement for a pre-colonial cultural recuperation was started by political theorists like Franz Fanon and Albert Memmi. And there's a debate, should we go back to the roots or should we continue like this? And then you find that debates in Nigeria, debates in Afro-Caribbean countries you found, and there are the moderates like Harris and Soinga, they say accept this reality. And accept the reality at the same time, you should always be mindful of your ancestral affiliations and also your own culture and your own language. And this is how they. And in addition to that, we should remember another thing. At present, so far we found only a critical theory in the race-based model, that is negative. That is, they are emotional, they don't give much importance to rationality. They are not rational in their approach. They are emotional, etc. We saw 1 or 2, 3 points already we have seen the other day. But the critical theories like structuralism, post-structuralism, Marxism and feminism, we are making use of in analyzing post-culture, post-colonial writings, and they have their base and origin in Europe or among the colonizers. So that we should not forget. So till that moment when we develop our own critical theories. Understand that? The moment we develop our own critical theories or post-colonial discourse to approach post-colonial discourses with the post-colonial indigenous theories, we fall back on or rely upon these European theories. That's also another reason why we must accept this situation. That's what they say. No, I don't say that. They say. That is Wilson Harris, Soinga and their followers. Understand that? I hope that you have followed me. You are enjoying my classes. You like to listen to my lectures, and we will continue with this for 2 or 3 more sessions. With that, we will wind up post-colonial writings and post-colonial authors and post-colonial critical theories and post-colonial cultural debates and post-colonial approaches to multiculturalism and syncretism and hybridity. Till then, bye-bye.